And welcome to another awesome episode. Today I've got Victor Dey, editor and reporter, leading reporter in VentureBeat. He's also a data scientist. I'm super excited to have Victor on the show. I've been following his work for a long time. And yeah, Victor, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you so much, Omri, for inviting me. I think you saying that you follow my work, it's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm just glad to be here.
Awesome, man. We have so much to talk about. Let's start and talk a little bit about your background. Can you tell us like how you got into tech journalism? What was kind of your journey?
Right. Yeah. So the thing was that I always had a passion for writing. And while I was doing my bachelor's in information technology, I used to write, blogs and little blogs on websites, and I used to contribute, but it never had my byline. That's how it started first. And then when I completed my bachelor's in information technology, I got an opportunity to work as a data analyst. And it was during that time that I understood the basics of data science and and the jargons and the technologies and how architectures work, and how data works essentially, which is a big part of this. And that's where I found my interest there. So I decided to pursue my bachelor's. So I decided to pursue my master's in data science after my bachelor's, and that's where I got another opportunity for a firm who reached out to me because I was one of the top students in the course. So they reached out to me saying that, hey, we are working on research, and if it is based on data science, and I think you would be a good fit for us. So would you like to work with us? So I was like, yeah, and I was definitely interested in research and going in that direction. So I started with them. And as you know, that research involves, writing your observations and heavy documentation. So I got lots and lots of experience, the crux of our architectures, how it works, everything. So I was studying and understanding everything in detail. And that's where I saw that, hey, AI is so interesting, and I don't think a lot of people know how these architectures work and how interesting they are. So that's where it clicked me. And when I started, then when after my master's, when I started my first data science job, my boss reached out to me one day saying that, hey, we are looking forward to creating content. And we look forward to creating data science content. So maybe we can do tutorials, about algorithms. And you can have your code and have a blog as well. So that's where it started, and I started writing a blog. And at the end of the blog, it had a code which explained that how this architecture or how this model worked that I've shown you. It was like a basic tutorial, Python tutorial. And when it got published, I think after the first, third, or fourth, I started receiving so much love on LinkedIn and over mail. And people started reaching out to me saying that, hey, I read your blog and it helped me do this. There's students, teachers, professors from the biggest institutions, CEOs reaching out to me. One CEO reached out to me saying that, hey, I was going into a conference and I just found your blog on Google and I read it. And that's where I understood this term. And I've talked about it in the conference today. So thank you so much. And I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing that, people want to understand, people want to know. And there's such interest in artificial intelligence, data science, and these domains that people want to learn and understand what it is. So after received the love, and that's what drove me further. So I started doing that parallelly with my data science work. And since then, I've worked in Dubai, and now I'm working at VentureBeat, where I still receive a lot of love. And yeah, you said that you have been following my work as well, and I'm really grateful for that. That's what drives me.
Amazing, man. You've been doing really stellar work, and I think that people who read your articles, it's not like just that you write like an editorial article. It's really insightful. It's like when I read your articles, it strikes me as a combination of like something that is news and something that's like, very research backed, very informative, very, that literally people, data scientists and programmers and developers can actually read and kind of implement so much of those stuff. So I really appreciate your work. I want to ask you, what is it in machine learning and artificial intelligence specifically that you find super interesting?
I think, the strength of the models and the cognitive thinking that they are developing these days, as we are seeing that, we used to talk about artificial intelligence and we used to see things like these in the movies. We used to see iRobot and a few other movies, right? But who knew that one day we will see self-driving cars? So artificial intelligence has gone to that level. And especially now, if you see, there's so much power in the computing perspective as well. Hardware has evolved, everything has evolved, and AI models have become so strong that they can understand every crux of a human, and they're not really close to humans still, but they are reaching there. I think in a few more years, I think 10-15 years from now, we might just see something that is really close to human thinking. So I especially find generative AI right now and large language models, because I have worked in NLP research, natural language processing, and I find that's why I find it super interesting. So that perspective and deep learning, reinforcement learning, it's just astonishing how robots and these models, which are just merely algorithms that you coded or someone in a room coded, they can remember what they did previously and can tell you on the basis of that. So, and they can interact. So that's astonishing. I think the power is only growing, and who knows, we will just see something that is just really close to human thinking. Yeah, from a few years from now, definitely.
We can't. You mentioned generative AI, which is which is all the buzz right now in the market. Everybody's talking about generative AI. There's so many generative AI startups out there. Shout out to both of our clients, Pitch AI and The Gist, who are generative AI startups. They're in that space as well. We can't talk about generative AI without talking about ChatGPT and what OpenAI has been able to do recently. That it's pretty insane. I really want to kind of hear your intake about this. What do you think about ChatGPT, and how close do you think is ChatGPT getting in compared to actual tech writers or just writers in general? It doesn't even have to be tech writers.
Right. So first of all, I would like to say that, OpenAI has been doing great work in natural language processing, in NLP, large language models. We already have seen a lot of amazing legacy models from them, like, GPT, GPT-1, 2, 3, and now we are seeing ChatGPT. So I think they had a really good background in developing models like these. Um, and I have been personally experimenting with ChatGPT for a few things right now to test its prowess, and it just gives you astonishing results. I mean, it's unbelievable that the training and the neural networks of that model is so strong that it can literally answer you about life. I mean, I was blown off when I saw that, when I tested a few things, and it just gave me answers like, like a friend would. So the strength is just amazing, absolutely. But I think that, when systems like these come up, I think they should be looked at how they can be inculcated in our daily work. More than, I don't think that any AI right now, any AI can replace human intelligence and thinking, because the two of the most essential things that humans have is, first of all, critical thinking and decision making and emotion. AI still lacks that, and I think to get close to that, we would still need a few 10-15 years more, as I said before, that, to get close to what a human thinks or how a human behaves. Um, So I would say that, I don't think that it will replace writers because our understanding and our perspective and our critical thinking, our opinions, there's no match. AI cannot never match human. But definitely, I know a lot of clients who are working, with generative AI right now, and just using generative AI models for a lot of things. So I think that it can be used to, speed up and automate a lot of processes, um, which would be amazing. If you could, if someone, let's just say that if there's a sales team and they want to write a sales pitch or just a marketing pitch, and if you just have an AI, just instruct that, hey, tell me, write a sales pitch or write something about this, and you just get it quickly. And just send it to your client or just write a mail, generate a mail like that. I think that's astonishing. That's amazing. And uh, the domain of generative AI, I think, is just widely growing. Images, videos. I mean, there's so much potential of the architectures being explored. And I think that right now, what I'm seeing with ChatGPT, that it is still in demo. But I think that as they launch it full-fledged, and they if they make it for images and videos as well, and they make it a one-stop shop, I think it will be really strong. But yeah, as I said, that there's still biases. AI models are AI models. Human intervention is always required, and nothing right now, nothing cannot can come close to human thinking.
Mhm. Other than generative AI, what are some other tech trends that you're looking into kind of investigating and reporting on in 2023?
So right now, what I'm seeing is, I talk to a lot of tech CEOs and clients, and what I understand right now that a few things like AR, VR will be heavily invested. These technologies are augmented reality, virtual reality, metaverse, a lot of heavy investments in the metaverse. We are seeing investment process automation. So those I look forward to those things. And other than that, that cloud architectures are getting stronger. As a service models are coming in. We have AI as a service, network as a service, and whatnot. Everything as a thing as well these days. Uh, so I think that these are a few things, and right now I think metaverse fashion is developing. NFTs are coming in. Blockchain will be inculcated in metaverse soon, and that transaction engine would be growing stronger. And people are interested in having digital avatars and digital collectibles. And when these technologies come in, I think it will also streamline a lot of things, because one interesting thing right now that I've been seeing, that a lot of companies like Walmart and a few others are training their employees in virtual reality
Hmm.
and within the metaverse. So they are creating real life scenarios, creating just a digital twin of what the actual work scenario would be, whether it be anything. And I think I was recently reading about few fire departments who are also training their workers, in scenarios, what would you do? What would your critical thinking be? And it just replicates the exact scenario, very
Hmm.
close to it. So I think it not only saves a lot of investment, and not only, and gives you a lot more, area and room for experimenting, to understand a wider perspective or get that analysis in. So I think, yeah, definitely AR, VR, CES is coming, and you would be seeing AR, VR headsets. A lot of AR, VR headsets are
Hmm.
expected. A lot of hardware is expected. Metaverse, definitely. We're in the metaverse. We are also moving right now towards virtual land. People are buying virtual land in the metaverse, and digital avatars and metaverse fashion is a thing. Biggest brands are coming in. So heavy investments in that, as well as robotic process automation, edge technologies, and of course, cloud architecture and as the service models are growing strong.
Love it. Other than those specific tech trends, are there any tech personalities tech, CEOs, or, that you're kind of really excited to interview or you're thinking about recently? It
Oh,
could be even the big ones like Elon Musk or something, or.
oh, definitely. As a two of the people that I look forward to interviewing is Jan LeCun, who is in Meta, and definitely Sundar Pichai and Elon Musk, definitely, because I think they have a lot of interesting perspective on a lot of things, and I think these personalities work on a really, really ground level. Although I am lucky to have interviewed a lot of people and hosted a lot of webinars where I talk to great personalities. But I think these are a few people that I look up to being a data scientist, because they have such interesting perspectives and such knowledge, such deep understanding of technologies and what the future holds for us. So I think it will be really interesting to have a chat with them. And yeah, if the opportunity comes in, I will not leave it.
Awesome. If you interview Elon Musk, let me know and I will join the Zoom interview.
Definitely.
Yeah. How do you think the role of, a tech reporter has evolved throughout the years? And, where do you think a tech reporter's future is like?
I think right now what we see in reporting, tech reporting, is that people are open to your perspectives. People are ready to have and read your opinion, to understand your opinion. And I think that gives us a lot of freedom for us to write on things. And if people are embracing that, they just want to have a different perspective of things, understand things in a different way, what if and what nots. And I think I'm really happy about that, that the environment is growing like that. In the past, people, did object about a few things or the others, but right now, even if you criticize in a good way, of course, not dissing someone completely, but the people are ready to understand the criticism as well. Um, so I think that is something that is absolutely amazing right now. And second, the love that people are having for AI, even a non-technical person who has nothing to do, in his daily work, he has nothing to do with tech maybe, but even he wants to learn and understand. So I look, and especially in my writing, I look to bring those perspective in, to have even layman people understand, how this tech works and what it is, and so that when they finish the article, they're like, we have understood something. All right, I know what the metaverse is, and now I know what generative AI is. And on a daily basis, it's just there's so much tech coming in. So I think that really helps us right now, and that's where the scenario has evolved. And going forward, I think people want to consume fast content, and that's why we see, the emergence of reels and YouTube shorts and YouTube videos and podcasts. People want to consume fast content. So I think in the future it will be definitely moving towards fast content. But of course, in parallelly, there is a huge amount community of readers as well who love to read. And yeah, so yeah, fast content and writing and reading, of course.
You've been super valuable with the time you gave for this show. I'm really grateful for that, Victor. So I have a last question for you today. What are some of your favorite books?
Well, some of my favorite books, but I don't get time to read a lot these days, but um, one of my favorite books is A Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I think it's a really, really interesting perspective on life. Um, I, and rest, I'm just working, but yeah, a few books, and I do read a few fiction novels and stuff like that. Because I've always been fascinated uh, by science fiction, and that's what drove my interest in data science as well. But I think that everyone should read The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I think it gave me definitely a deep understanding and perspective of life. And I think it will help everyone watching as well. So yeah.
Awesome, Victor. Thank you so much thank you so much, man, for taking the time to do this show. You can, for the audience who wants to kind of search for him, you can follow him on LinkedIn. You can read his stuff on VentureBeat. Victor, do you also have Twitter? Do you have a Twitter account?
Right now I don't have, but I look forward to being on Twitter.
Awesome. But check out his LinkedIn for sure. And yeah, follow his work on VentureBeat. So Victor, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Had a really, really great time. And thank you everyone watching.